Need a motion and a second that the Lehighton Area School District hereby public censures David Bradley for his conduct as outlined in the opinion letter from King Scribe for failure to meet the expectations of the school director as set forth in its policies. The generally recognized school board and the generally recognized school board code of ethics. Further, the district administration is directed to take no further action at this time on the furtherance of its November 19th, 2018 resolution hiring of King Scribe. Need a motion and a second, please.
I don't know what that means.
Second.
Shouldn't these be two different motions?
I got a motion and a second. We can discuss as soon as that's completed. Is that Ms. Snelling was the second, or and Mr. Wentz was the first? Yes. Questions?
Prior to rushing, I'm going to hand this out if that's okay, before you rush it through on the last one.
Sure. My comment is that maybe it should be two different motions, one for a public censure and then the other one to take no further action.
That's up to the board. That's perfectly okay. It can be split, if the board so chooses, but we have a motion and a second on the floor. So, Ms. Snelling, do you like the way it's written right now?
Well, it's fine with me to split it, but it's written this way because the letter from King Scribe puts all of these things in there. So if we're going to go by the recommendation of the letter, then there's no problem with them being together. So I'm okay either way. I'm not going to argue with anybody, but I see no reason why it needs to be changed.
Should have been published.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Any further questions?
I'd like to speak, Mr. Stern, when you have a chance.
Mr. Bradley?
According to the King Scribe letter, which is somewhere. Thank you. There's a bunch of accusations that they made in reference to me. It's a very politically motivated letter. However, I've got to ask the question, somewhere in this PSBA code of conduct, I'm being accused of violating this code of conduct. I'd like to know if this is a selective enforcement, first of all, and second of all, which one of these codes of conduct did I violate? The letter referenced none of these.
Which one can I put a star on?
I have a couple that I can see.
Excellent. Thank you.
Board members should work together in a spirit of harmony, respect, and cooperation, despite differences of opinion. Individuals have no legal authority outside the meetings of the board and should conduct their relationship with all stakeholders and media on this basis. We will not use our positions as school directors to benefit ourselves or any individual or agency.
Okay, examples of when he did it.
Turner's mic so you can't figure that out.
Here, I want to see an example.
You want to see an example?
Exactly.
In the spirit of harmony, does he work in the spirit of harmony despite differences of opinion?
I think so.
So, is the difference of opinion?
Disagree on that
And you had people on here that were child molesters, and you had them on the board, and you didn't try to get rid of them? What? Oh, yeah. What are you talking about?
Who are you making accusations against there, Dale?
I'm not saying any names.
Please wait for the motion.
No, I
The
think
motion, hold on, the motion. Mr. Stern, can you please
Go ahead, order. Thank you.
As far as individuals have no legal authority outside the meetings of the board and should conduct their relationships with all stakeholders and media on this basis, Mr. Bradley continually tells us how he engages with other stakeholders, but he won't name them for us to tell us who they are or why they're complaining. He takes certain media things on his own. He posts things on the web, he posts things on social media, and he doesn't go through the board. He does it all on his own. He's one of nine. One of nine, one of nine, one of nine. You are bored, Mr. Bradley, just like the rest of us.
Okay, and where did he use it to help himself?
He He uses it to help himself by furthering his statewide political agenda. He is acting.
Running for governor?
That's not what I'm talking about, and you know it now. You asked for examples, I'm giving you mine. Again, we can agree to disagree, but you asked for examples.
Do you have a physical example? You're saying that my posting of videos is an example of not meeting a code of conduct?
It's using it to benefit yourselves, because you parse them and edit them to make your opinion look like the primary opinion. And that, sir, is a benefit to you.
Okay. And I'll ask one more question. So,
That's not what it means. It means like if you have a business and you try to sell insurance or something. Well, she does, so why can't I?
one more. So I gotta ask, right? So when I have a difference of opinion in comparison to the 5 board members that have rubber stamped things and shoved things through and prevented people from speaking, that difference of opinion is what you're saying that I have and blocking?
No, not at all. You see how you take things out of context?
I do. Apparently I do. So I see it.
You definitely
So my question is, you're going to say that I have a responsibility to honor your opinion, but you don't have a
No. You have a responsibility to put out the facts, all of them, not the way you see them and not the way you edit them. That's what I'm telling you.
So one other one that I noticed then, here's a question. Hold on.
knows what it is.
Can we give someone 1 second?
Well,
Hold on, for clarification. Okay, you wanted to know the facts and everything else. They're highlighted in the letter. Number 1, file 3 baseless civil actions against the district in Carbon County Court of Common Pleas. Bowman, Flickinger, and Bradley versus Lehighton School District, Bradley versus Lehighton School District, Stern lawsuit. And there's an amount that it costs the district. That one for Bowman, Flickinger, and Bradley, $9,645. Bradley versus Lehighton School District, $20,000 cost of the district. Bradley versus Lehighton School District and Larry served the mandamus that we discussed, $3,791. Filed 2 baseless private criminal complaints. The Attorney General investigated and has declined to prosecute the complaint against Larry Stern. The second complaint against the district is also likely to be dismissed, but cannot be criminally charged. Number 3, misuse of right to know process. Initiated multiple requests and failed to pay costs of copies, total $400 owed. Initiated repeat requests for the same or similar documents. Repeatedly request records that ignore considerations regarding HIPAA, FERPA, foster care, homeless students, sensitive labor issues, and PFAs involving matters. One of the requests for volume emails record, which will require extensive time and review. That was the appeal that we filed, and the hearing is scheduled for February 12, 2019. Appeared to have employed the assistance of another individual to request records from the district, and has taken a meritless appeal because no response records exist. Number 4, engaged in a pattern of inappropriate and abusive communication. Use student and staff names or described events such as an extent that individuals can be identified. Harassed a female district employee. Lodged unfounded accusations against school administration. Doing strip searches in public. Had inappropriately accused a staff member of getting stimulated when he conducts searches. Has made defamatory claims that the school board has falsified its minutes by adopting minutes for meetings. Because of these actions is why this is being filed. So there's where the facts that are pointed out.
Excellent. So as fairness,
So reading the document would have answered many of those questions.
but in fairness, Mr. Cleaver and Mr. Stern, whereas this, I'm sorry, excuse me.
We don't want to hear it.
We don't want to hear you anymore. Let's go.
Okay, so in responsibility of our school policy, the term due process is required. And since, just to be cursory on these events, repeated meritless court-filed legal actions for right-to-know requests. The right-to-know requests were granted by the state. It was you, Mr. Stern, that chose to invoke the defense of counsel and spend that money. Filed 3 baseless civil actions. I filed 2, so this thing's wrong. The other one was filed by a group of individuals, not just myself, but I definitely joined with them because those rights were violated. And, Mr. Stern, when you decided to defend that action, even after Mr. Schwab in the December meeting said we were correct in our reading of the Sunshine Act that requires a public comment prior to making an action of the board, he agreed. You chose to defend it. You should have just said, I'm going to take another vote or I'm going to let people speak. When you silenced them, Mr. Stern, is when these costs
It's
occurred.
amazing that it ruled in my favor, Mr. Bradley. I don't know how.
It did not rule in your favor, sir. We dropped the case when I saw you spending tens of thousands of dollars to defend yourself for Sunshine Acts that were not baseless, and the judge, now, as far as misuse,
Ruled in my favor.
I'll go on two more. The Attorney General did
Please
investigate.
call the question.
Hold on,
That's
the
not
attorney,
this.
so we're gonna end due process, Ms. Spinelli? I have a right.
2 pages of actions that benefited our students, not one bit.
Because he
Money
chose,
funneled out of our education.
You were the loser!
He chose to defend it.
Roll call vote, Mrs. Wagner.
Okay, roll call for motion M.
Yes, please.
Mrs. Rita Spinelli?
Yes.
Mr. Wayne Wentz? Mr. Andrew Jensen?
Yes.
Ms. Joy Beers?
Abstain.
Mr. Richard Phelps? Is that a no? Mr. David Bradley?
no.
Mr. Stephen Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Gail Mahalik? Mr. Larry Stern?
Yes.
5-4. Motion carried.
No, there's an
I'm sorry,
abstention
one
in there.
exception. Sorry about that, one exception.
Joy had an
Yeah,
abstention.
she got it.
Yep.
She got it.